Okay, so part 2. Talked about the Mill Hill buttons and beads kits. And they're just little kits that come with perforated paper, and you do the stitching on perforated paper. And I have a couple of Christmas ones, but she had showed something else. I forget what she showed, but something else, and it struck my interest. And so I went to whatever website she had talked about. I don't think it was 123 Stitch, but it may have been. Anyway, I think that these were on sale at a website. Anyway, so I went and I picked out 3 different Mill Hill buttons and beads, and this is an autumn series. I like these because I can see them without using my second set of readers. So I have reading glasses in my regular glasses, but they're not strong enough. So when I stitch, typically I use a second set of readers. With these, it looks ridiculous, and I don't like to do that in public because it looks ridiculous. But I will if push comes to shove. So, but I like to do these because I don't have to use that second set of readers. And so, anyway, this first one is called Mouse House. And I love anything with a pumpkin in it. I have probably more pumpkin rugs in my rugs that I do than anything else. But I love a good pumpkin. Not necessarily a jack-o'-lantern, just a good pumpkin. And I would never own one, but I like mice. I don't like them when they're in the house. But I don't know. I think this comes from the Beatrix Potter characters. But anyway, so this looks like this. Mouse House looks like this. And I kind of work on this if I want to stitch, but I'm getting tired. Like when I was working on Main Street and I realized I made a huge mistake, I just put Main Street away and got this out. And so, I'm sorry. So this is my start on Mouse House. It's really cute. Anyway, it's really cute, fairly easy to do. I did have to go through and separate all the threads and put them on bobbins because they kind of come, you get with this, you get a butt. This came with the button, the little sunflower button, and all the beads, and all the threads, and the perforated paper. So it's great, and this was $14. So this came from Silver Needle. That's right. Silver Needle had these on sale. Oh, the threads come bundled in just a kind of a loose knot, and there's, there's like, I don't have the chart here, but there's like very light gray, medium gray, dark gray, and very dark gray. So, and there might just be one hank of each, or 2 hanks of one, or whatever. So you have to figure out, well, you have to lay them out on, what I did is I laid them out on a piece of black fabric so I could clearly distinguish between light gray and very light gray. Anyway, that was the only thing. That took me a little bit of time, but other than that, they take no time to work up, and they're fun. I will take this in the car on the way to Virginia. This will be my car project, so that'll be kind of fun to do. Next thing I worked on was Nantucket Rose. So Nantucket Rose, if you remember, I won through a giveaway that Marlene did, and it was Stitching by the Lake, and she sent me the chart, and this is the picture of Nantucket Rose, and it's just beautiful. This is a lavender and lace pattern, and I think it's a fairly old pattern, and I love it. I wanted to find some kind of old beat up looking fabric to do it on, and I didn't want to spend a whole ton of money on it, but Ryan and I had to go to Joann's last week for something, and I looked there and I found this piece of just linen, Witchelt linen, 32 count, and I thought that would suffice. And here is my start on Nantucket Rose. And so I'm starting, if you can see, right here in the middle, just under the fence line here, and then now I've worked my way over into the flowers just a little tiny bit. I have a little tiny bit of pink here that has just started. So it's lovely. It's a fantastic chart, easy to read. It's, it'll take me forever because it's pretty much a full coverage piece, but it's still fun. I almost kind of want to work on this today. I don't know, I haven't worked on this for a couple of days. So pretty pleased with that, happy with how that's going. And that's kind of the stitching that I did as far as cross stitch. I worked on a few other things this week. I got, remember how I'm doing the wool witch's quilt, monthly quilt, and I got January done, and I think I showed you that already in one night. So I was pretty pleased with that. The dog now has a paper bag or a plastic bag that he's playing with, so that'll make some noise. And so I was going to do one a night, and no, I have not managed to do one a night. But I did while we were watching, well, I don't even want to tell you what we were watching last night because it's embarrassing that we would waste our time watching that show, so I'm not going to tell you. It was just a show on ABC, and it's just the dumbest show, and anyway. But while we were watching that, waste of time. I finished stitching up the February block. Sorry for the cat hair. The cats love to sit on the wall. And the only thing I need to do is stitch in February. So hopefully today I'll get March and April cut, because this would be another good thing to take in the car. If I don't feel like cross stitching, I can do that. And then my very, very dearest friend, who doesn't really cross stitch much anymore, so I probably don't talk about her a lot. She is a new grandmother, fairly new grandmother, and she's kind of my first friend to brave that new world of being a grandmother. And so, not my first friend, my first friend of my age. I have lots of older friends who have been grandmothers for a long time, but my first friend who's roughly my age. And anyway, when her daughter was pregnant, when we found out it was a little girl, I picked out this quilt from our local quilt shop to stitch for her. It's just done in simple embroidery and then pieced together, and just very simple. And then I decided to make her a rug instead, and so I made her a rug that I designed myself, and if I can find a picture of it, I'll include it at the end of the video. But the little one is turning a year old now, and they're having her birthday. She shares my son's birthday, so it's just all these really neat things. So my girlfriend's name is Gail, and her son Noah is my son Ryan's best friend. And so Gail and I met through the boys, and the boys met in 7th grade and have been fast friends ever since 7th grade. And Gail and I met, like halfway through the year, and we'd heard a lot about each other. And both boys came home and told us, when they had met the other boy's mom, came home and said, "Oh, you have to meet her. You'll love, Ryan came home and told me, you'll love Noah's mom." And Noah's told his mom the same thing, and it's true. We're very much alike. She's very crafty also. And so we're just very close to this child. And then, crazily enough, her first grandchild, was born on Ryan's birthday, September 9th. So the party, the 1-year-old's party, her name is Ari, her party is also September 9th, her birthday party. Well, that is the weekend of my daughter's bridal shower in Colorado. So Maddie and I will actually be gone for Ari's birthday party. So the boys will have to go. But anyway, I decided I have this almost finished. So I had every block done except for this last block here. And I had done this all while her daughter was pregnant. And I thought, I am going to finish that for Ari's first birthday. So I just have been working on this block a little bit, which is, the roses will be in red and pink, so those will stand out a little bit more. But it's just a really soft, girly quilt, very simple to do. So I was working on this yesterday, and I thought, oh, that's silly. This would be another good car project. So I'll save this and do it in the car or the hotel or whatever on the way to George Mason, and that will be that. Let's see, I wanted to show you, I got the lion, I didn't get the rug done, but I got the entire lion finished. So let me show you that really, really quick, because we're getting up to 11 minutes now, and I'll have to do 3 videos, and you don't want to have to watch 3 videos. So you've seen his face, you've seen the lamb. I did not have this bottom half done, his paw. Oh gosh, this is so hard to show you guys. his paw or the other side of his mane done over here. And so I finished all that up. That's done. And now I just have background to do and 1,000 billion million stars to do, as you can see. Oh, and the lettering in the border. So anyway, I was happy to have that done. And I have my ship, or my little man in the boat on the river rug, all color planned out and all the wool purchased for that. And I'm really excited to get started on that, but I don't know when that will be. I had mentioned last time that I was doing some knitting, and I still am. I am just using yarn that I have. I was looking for a different pattern on my craftsy, so CRAFTSY, on the Craftsy website the other day, and realized I had purchased this pattern for this cowl. It's a cowl. This is what it looks like on. I thought it was so cute. Knitted cowl, and it's called the West Desert Hood. And so I decided to just use some yarns that I had laying around the house, and I started it. My gray is a lot darker, and so the dog is over here begging for a treat, but I'll let him beg for a while. This is the beginning of it. I feel like I'm doing something wrong because it's rolling the wrong way. It's rolling in instead of out. So I don't know. I need to knit a little bit more on it and then figure out. See, and I started that next row of lighter purple. I don't know. So I need to knit a little bit more on it. That would also be a good car project because I don't need readers to knit. Everybody's been talking about books, and Lady Bird Stitch. I love to read, big reader. But I was watching Lady Bird, Lorna is her name, her video yesterday, her latest, and she was talking about books, and she mentioned finishing Heidi, the book Heidi. Can't think of the author, Johannes, I think, which is really more of a children's book, and I have never read it, and I realized I had it on my Kindle, so I'm working on reading that. The other two books, I always have multiple books going, and when I'm heavily into stitching and sewing, I don't read as quickly as I normally do. But I belong to a Book of the Month Club, and my book for this month from Book of the Month Club is The Heart's Invisible Furies by John Boyne. And this is a book that takes place in Ireland, which I'm fascinated with Irish culture. And it takes place starting in the 50s, and I think goes through present time. So just a little bit of a start on that. It's very good, very sad to start, very, very good. And then the other book that I just purchased, my friend Gail, that I was just telling you about, had mentioned to me at one point, we were talking about books, and she had mentioned that she had never read Gone with the Wind, and it just blew me away. She's a teacher, and she has read just about everything I've read. And so I came home to find my copy of Gone with the Wind to loan it to her, and I couldn't find it. And I've had the same copy of Gone with the Wind since probably middle school. So I went to Barnes & Noble to buy myself and her a copy, and only one copy of Gone with the Wind. So I bought one copy, gave it to her, and then ordered another copy, and it came in, and it looks completely different than my old antiquated, which I loved that book anyway. So I bought a brand new copy of Gone with the Wind. So I will probably take this with me also. You know my plans to do all of this stuff while we're gone, and I probably won't get much done at all. I'll get like 10 stitches put in or something, but that's okay. It'll probably be at least a couple weeks before I post again, just because of, we'll be gone. Looking forward to the trip, not looking forward to saying bye to Ryan, but it'll be okay. A lot of our friends have been saying bye this week to their kiddos, and I have quite a few friends whose youngest graduated with Ryan, so a lot of them are empty nesters now, and that's a hard thing. It's a whole new world. We have one more year with Maddie. She started school yesterday, and epic mom fail. I forgot to take a back to school picture, which I have never forgotten to do, and so I made her take one when she got home from school. So that was kind of bad, but anyway, I think I'm kind of in denial. Anyway, I hope everyone is well. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, Floss Tube.